Welcome to the Trackalicious Summer 2022 GT3 Championship, Round 5 here at Bathurst. 2M4RO. How are you doing tonight? Got a couple minutes left of free practice still. Well, we're in for some action tonight, folks. We got not one, but two races here for you. We have a 30-minute race and a 45-minute race, which will be free practice, which is the practice that we are in now. We will go to our first qualifying session. That'll be 19 minutes. And then we'll have our first race. I believe the first race is 30 minutes. After the first race, we will go to a 10-minute free practice just to give the drivers a little bit of a break. Then we'll go into another 19-minute qualifying session, and then we'll finish the night off with a 45-minute race. So now you're probably asking yourself, why a 19-minute qualifying? Well, I'm glad you asked. The first minute is for setup changes only, so there is going to be no cars on the track. At the 18-minute mark, the split 3 drivers will come out. They'll go from 18 to 12. At the 12-minute mark, the split 2 drivers will come out. They'll go from 12 to 6. And then at the 6-minute mark, the split 1 drivers will come out, and they will go from 6 to the checkered. And with a long lap time of Bathurst, you're probably looking at the high 50s or the low 2s. You're only going to be able to get probably 2 valid laps going around here tonight. So you're going to want to set a banker and really push on that second, because you definitely don't want to be starting towards the back of the pack at Bathurst, especially with these shorter races. And I am glad to hear that. So after this race, we will have a 2-week break due to, I believe it's Independence Day for the Americans and Canada Day for us Canadians. And then the week after is the 949 Trackalicious Box 3 Motorsports 6-hour Enduro at Zandvoort. And then after the Enduro, we will have more races on the 17th, and then we will go 5 weeks straight. We will go back to back to back to back to back without a week break. So the drivers will get through the stress of Bathurst tonight, and they'll get a week off, and maybe 2 depending if they do the Enduro. But they'll have to make it count, because they're not going to be getting another break for 5 weeks. It's only a couple seconds left of free practice. We will be getting into this qualifying real shortly, as we are currently in max wait time, waiting for these final drivers to cross the line. Right now, top of the charts is a 201.915, which is impressive, especially for a fast track. Currently 24 degrees ambient, 27 on the track. Could be different for qualifying. And yeah, there is a minimal. There is a chance of rain. It isn't a very high chance, but it's there. I believe it's like a 20% chance of rain or something. Let's see. There is a 10% chance of rain. So it's not too inevitable, but it could still happen if these drivers are very unlucky. As I believe maybe the 99 car. That's the 999 car. Where's the 99 car? That's Renato Ferreira. I think that might be the last car across the line before we get into this qualifying session. And hopping in the booth with me is Mike Naus. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
I am very much on time tonight.
Yeah, we're still on free practice.
Alright. I'm here, but I apologize for being just a little bit late.
No worries. Didn't miss out on a whole lot. Just counting down the final few drivers to cross the line, and we'll start qualifying for the first time tonight.
Alrighty. It's going to be exciting.
Well, for sure.
Just to get my game open. I'm extremely prepared.
Well, qualifying just rolled over, so we're just in the first minute where setup changes are the only thing going on right now. At the 18-minute mark, drivers will start coming out, and it'll just be the split 3 drivers coming out for the first 6. At the 12-minute mark, the split 2 drivers will come out. They'll go from 12 to 6, and then from 6 to 0 will be the split 1 drivers. But Bathurst, this is it's going to be an interesting one to say the least.
I'm joining, and I see a little bit of rain on the forecast. Is that just my game telling me things that are in my head, or is that a little bit of truth? It looks like it's not true whatsoever. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a fast track right now, so not optimum, but we can see the drivers starting to queue up, and there is, I believe, a 10% chance of rain, so it is possible, but it's very unlikely.
It's not going to be a slippery and wet one here in Australia today, unfortunately, but should still be a very good race nonetheless, as we have how many drivers here on grid today?
Right now we have 34 on track. And with qualifying just starting, there might be a couple more stragglers joining in.
It's going to be a very full grid. Alrighty. And this is all GT3s, unlike the Thursday League, which is GT3 and GT4. I'm only saying this honestly to help myself right now. I'm very tired.
Yeah, if it was multi-class like Thursday, there would be a lot more action, and these drivers would probably be a lot more nervous.
Yes, indeed. It's a 20-minute qualifying here. So, can you just, I know I heard you going over this before I joined, but could you go over it just one more time for the sake of the audience and me, with the stints and how we have the Pro, the AM, and Pro-Am?
For sure, I can do that. So, obviously we've got 2 races tonight, a 30-minute race and a 45-minute race. Each qualifying session is it starts at 19 minutes. The first minute is for setup changes only, so from 19 to 18, there will be no cars on track. As soon as the 18-minute mark hits, it'll be the not the GT3s, they're all GT3s, but the split 3 drivers will be out on track. They'll go from 18 to the 12-minute mark. After the 12-minute mark, that's when the split 2 drivers will come out, and they will have from 12 minutes to 6 minutes. And then at the 6-minute mark, it'll be the split 1 drivers, and they will go from 6 minutes to the checkered flag.
Perfect. And as we see here, as Cutsworth is going to be rounding the final chicane here and about to start his first lap. He is the first one, or second one to do so.
Yeah, so we got Tom McDonald The Worn Tire Tribe Australian in that 6 Ferrari.
Lovely ocean blue.
Yeah, it's a very nice livery.
Blasting down the mountain straight. Am I? Oh no. I've forgotten my turn names at Bathurst.
I know I did used to know them a little while back.
I know one is the mountain straight, and one is...
Yeah, I believe the first straight is the mountain straight. The back straight is the Conrad straight.
Correct. Yes. Quarry bend, yes, yes. Cutting, okay, it's all coming back to me now. Skyline, dipper.
The chase.
Yeah. Forest elbow. Okay, cool. We're back. I'm alive. I'm very much extremely alive tonight, like I say.
As we'll see, Tom McDonald is coming down the Conrad straight. He'll be coming across the line, setting the bar for these these split 3 drivers. Don't know why I keep saying GT3, but
It's a true statement.
oh, and he loses it.
Takes way too much curb on the entry there and just ends up binning it completely.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to return to pits and get out quick. He's only gonna have enough time to get around once more and get 1 valid lap in. But a huge error from him.
Yeah, that was just a basic unforced error right there. That
No, I don't even think he's got enough time to go out. Actually, he doesn't.
Oh, that is extremely unfortunate. As we see a 2:07.0 from Cutsworth coming across the line, we see another yellow flag on track as Kuhn looks like he's managed to do this just about the same thing.
Yes, we got a couple drivers crossing the line. We got Ricardo Sapien taking provisional pole with a 2:05.877, quickly dethroned by Bronson Turner with a 2:05.662.
I'm sure we'll be seeing some much faster lap times here by the end of qualifying.
Yeah, as we have Andy Oak already jumping up to provisional pole. And another thing to take in is it's also only a fast track, so it's not optimum yet. So the times will be a little bit slower. We were seeing I think it was mid 2:01s in the practice on a fast track with split 1 drivers.
I thought this seemed a little slow. Oh, wow. And we also have Turner there losing it right into the back of the mountain section on the entry. So this is going to be an interesting race. We got drivers struggling right now.
Yeah. It's qualifying, not even the race yet, and luckily there hasn't been any incidents on the mountain itself other than that one we just saw, but he was kind of out of the way for that one. There's no roadblock or anything, which is always nice. Ooh, as it looks like the number 3 car has actually had a little bit of drama up on the top of the mountain as well. Looks like that was Santiago Orozco who got an incident on the mountain and had to return to the garage.
Wow, these drivers are struggling to keep it on track when there's no cars next to them. How are they going to do it when there's cars all around them? This is going to be fun.
It's definitely going to be an interesting one as Jamison Cusworth comes around the final corner now. Currently 8/10 up on his time. Jumps up to P4 as we'll jump on board with George Elmer, and he's currently 1.9 seconds up on his delta. Coming down the Conrad straight.
As we're probably going to start seeing some more times that we're expecting, we should see the split 2 drivers coming out here relatively soon, shouldn't we?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of them, if not all of them, have made their way out of the pits so far. You can see them on the other side of the track. As George Elmer's coming across, or coming around the final corner now, over 2 seconds up on his delta. He's going to jump up to P2 with that scorcher of a lap with a 2:05.525. And Jack Thompson Unless the 73 car has anything to say about it. That's the 73 car of Stephen Buckley. But Buckley only jumping up to P5 with a 205.685. And that is going to give Jack Thompson with the PSC Motorsports BMW pole position for the split 3 drivers.
Awesome, and I'm sure these times here, we finally, Thomas getting into the 204 is the only driver to do so. I'm sure we'll see much more drivers in this split getting into the 204s here as the track is rubbering in and getting optimal as all these drivers lay down all of the rubber as there are currently 34 cars on track. That's a lot of, well, not on track, but total. It's a lot of cars to lay down to some rubber on this hot day.
For sure. As we'll just do before some time start coming in, we'll do a quick split 3 rundown. We got Jack Thompson for taking pole for split 3. Then you got George Elmer in P2, Andy Oak in P3, Bronson Turner in P4, Stephen Buckley P5, Ricardo Sapien in P6, Eric Gukasi in P7, Jamison Cusworth in 8th, and Aaron Kuhn in P9. We have a couple towards the back of the grid. We got T. McDonald, Versosa, Hopkins, and Orozco unable to set valid laps, so they'll be starting towards the back of the grid.
Yes, indeed, as we see these drivers now making their way up the mountain section. The stint 2 drivers, split 2 drivers, excuse me.
Yes, we got...
Making their way through. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we got William Colon leading the pack for these split 2 drivers. So he makes his way towards Skyline and through the S's.
Barreling down them. Lovely, that looked very well put together.
Yeah, it looks like he's been doing a good job so far. We'll see when he crosses the line.
He's currently a second down on the leading time delta, if I'm not mistaken. Probably not going to be jumping to pole just yet. He's trying to dial in his setup. Right behind him, though, actually, is all these drivers. None of these drivers are improving too much. Not yet, at least. He's coming down to round the final corner here.
Let's see what kind of time he throws down to set the bar for these split 2 drivers. He's going to jump up to P1 with a 204.137. Pretty good lap, but I feel like there may be a few quicker laps in the close future.
Yeah, his Sector 2 is very messy, actually, it looks like, by the sector times. So he has quite a bit of time to improve.
Yeah, so we got a couple more drivers crossing the line. We got Professor Chronotis currently taking provisional pole for split 2 and overall with a 203.862. We had William Colon with a 137, a big slide from him going up, but he's able to save it.
Wow.
In P3, you got Jarek Snyder, Jason Provolone, you got P4, and Mike Burkhoff, you got P5. But some of these drivers are still behind some of the split 3 drivers, so hopefully they can improve and get ahead of them.
Yeah, as Provolone I'm looking at here is currently, actually, Snyder is up on his time by an absolute mile right now. It's looking like a very good lap for him. So he's climbing up the mountain, getting ready to make the massive descent down. Currently, so far, this is we're looking a lot more put together than the last stint, or split, where all the drivers managing to keep their all 4s on track, mostly, and I say that in Chronotis, actually, and not sure if he crashed there or just retired.
I think there may have been a spin or something there, some kind of problem. As we have, I'm going to butcher the name, but K's Tikwa, I don't know. I don't know who they are, but they said they put in a good lap considering he's on home soil. So I'd imagine that is one of the Australians.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Let's be very stereotypical. Because now the Stint 1 drivers are making it out on track. This is where we're going to start to see the times climb.
Yeah, this should still a fast track, so we won't see. We probably won't see anything under 2 minutes, but we'll get the low 2 minutes, I would think, as I believe the final split 2 driver crossed the line. So we have Jarek Snyder taking pole position for split 2. Then you got Professor Chronotis in P2, William Colon in P3, Mike Burkhoff in P4, Jason Provolone in P5, Ross Fallon in P6, and Nico Camden in P7. But Nico Camden, he's all the way in P15. Then we have Eric Miller, who did not set a lap, and I believe it is the only split 2 driver that did not put a lap in. So he'll be starting from towards the back of the field. As the split 1 drivers make the track, take the track and getting their first flyers ready.
I was actually on board with Landon there going through the mountain section, and he had a bit of a moment and clipped the wall. He didn't go back to pits though, so we'll see if he can manage to get a decent time on the board, but I think he has a little bit of damage on board with him.
Yeah, but it must not be enough to make a difference because he's staying out on track.
Now, we will certainly see if this is going to make the difference or not, if he can put in that big smash and lap with that big smash on the wall. I'm sure he'll be able to do just that.
As it looks like we have some Nico Camden fans in the chat. We got Cool Tyking for Team Cool Green.
It's all these drivers giving each other plenty of space to start their final, or not final lap, but only some of them are only actually going to get probably 1 lap out.
Yeah, if they're they should get 2. Should, as long as they don't mess one of them up.
The front runners for sure, but yeah, if you have a little bit of an error here and you're towards the back of the field, you're going to be hurting to get back on track.
Lamlin has a ton of room between him and the driver behind.
Which makes me even more confused why he didn't just return to the pits and repair the car just in case. I don't know. Like I say, we'll see how he ends up qualifying.
Yeah, I don't think he really has much of a choice right now anymore.
No, definitely not at this point, no.
Yeah, and as we were saying towards the beginning, we actually have a latecomer of Ed Kerstetter out on track behind Nate Lamlin, but Kerstetter joined in, and that makes it 35 on the track tonight.
Wow, this is going to be a chaotic one coming through the first corner. And in the mountain. Oh man, this is going to be just an insane start to this race. We saw a lot of people having quite a few errors, especially at the beginning of the mountain section. So far, as Lambden not caring about that damage too much, jumps up to pole, proves me wrong. But
yeah.
Quickly beat out. Oh, not beat out by Kerstetter. Not even close. That time holds quite well. Now finally getting beat out by Laundry. 2021.
Yeah, a couple of the times coming across. Landry, he's sets another scorcher of a lap. He's been on fire this season so far in that Lamborghini. I believe the only Lambo on the grid.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and then you got Nate Lamlin close behind with a 202.305. Riley Manier in P3. Rivera 4. Smith and Kerstetter 5 and 6. Raza in 7. You got Padberg, who's all the way in 11th. Ferreira in 14th. As Kenneth Portis II jumps up to P3 with a 202.385. Where were we? We were at Ferreira, 15. Duran, 17. Andreas Mostachero at 19. And I think a couple drivers still yet to cross. The only one who was yet to cross was Gage Gonzalez, but they crossed the line. Jump up to P8 with a 2:03.150. 30 seconds left. These will be all these drivers' final laps of the session.
We see the drivers now closing up the times as we saw Rivera actually a half second away from Smith. The difference between 5th and 6th. Quite a large gap.
Yeah, about half a second between 5th and 6th at the moment, but could change towards the end.
Rivera's up on his lap currently half a second, looking like he's going to be putting in a going to break into the maybe 201s actually.
And Nate Lamlin just crossed the line. He was not able to improve, so he sits P2. As Riley Manier is going to cross the line P1 with a 2:02.047, quickly dethroned by Landry with a 2:01.877.
It looks like this track rubbered in at the end there, and basically it's going to be an issue of if the drivers are still on track, they're going to be benefiting from that.
And Ricardo Rivera, before that last turn, he was on track to take pole position, but that last turn he must have not got the best exit and only jumped up to P2 as we got Quinn Smith crosses the line P4. Got the 84 car of, I believe that's Kenneth Portis II, currently 2/10 up. Cross the line, and they're going to improve, but only up to P5. We got the 36 car. Chris Moses crosses the line, jumps up to P7 with that lap. And we have Gage Gonzalez about to come around the final turn of the lap, and we'll see where they stack up as they will be the final driver to cross the line. And from 9th to 7th, Gage Gonzalez jumps up.
Now we one driver breaking into the 201s of Landry.
Yeah, that was an intense qualifying session, that's for sure.
So impressive just to see the difference here, as we also, I want to give a little bit of credit here to Jay Thomas sitting down in 17 as he's the AM split, and he's sitting up there basically out of his league right now.
Yeah,
see if he can manage to do anything from there.
Yeah, he's in front of a couple split 2 drivers, a couple split 1 drivers. It's great. So we're seeing a couple cars getting penalties tonight. It's for nothing they did in qualifying or anything. It's just from post incidents. So we got Tyler James. He's going to be getting 20 seconds for each race, which is a long time. And then you're going to have Fabiano Pincheniak and Jamison Cusworth. They're going to get 10 seconds per race, which I don't know if Pincheniak is here or not. As we'll do what were you going to say?
I was just going to 10 seconds is pretty rough, so it's 20.
Yeah, and not just for one race, for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick grid rundown. Taking pole position, we have Marc-Antoine Landry in that 88 Lamborghini. Alongside him, you got Ricardo Rivera in the 53 Honda. In the second row, you got Riley Manier and Quinn Smith for 3 and 4. For 5th and 6th, you got Kenneth Portis II and Nate Lamlin. P7, you got Gage Gonzalez and Chris Moses in P8. Rounding out the top 10, you got Ed Kerstetter and Ali Raza in P9 and P10. And Jacob Hadberg in P11. You have Jarek Snyder taking he's taking pole for split 2, currently starting P12 overall. Then you got Professor Chronotis and William Colon behind him. Next we have Mike Burkhoff in 15th, Renato Ferreira in 16th, and Jack Thompson, your split 3 pole setter, in P17. In P18 alongside him, you got Andreas Mostachero, Dominic Duran in P19, and Jason Provolone in P20. In 21st, you got George Elmer that is, and Andy Yoke, P22. P23, we got Ross Fallon, P24, Bronson Turner, Stephen Buckley, 25th, Ricardo Sapien, 26th, Eric Ukasian, 27th, Jameson Cusworth with that 10-second penalty in P28, Nico Camden in P29, Aaron Kuhn in P30, Erica Miller in P31, Tom McDonald in P32, and P33, 34, and 35, we got Versosa, Hopkins, and Orozco. And that is your starting grid for this first race here at Bathurst, as you hear the engines roar as they start making their way around the track for their formation lap.
Yes, indeed, and that was... We see here a couple drivers to probably keep an eye on as we have Eric Miller sitting back, as you said, in P31 and Nick Camden in P29. They're going to be making up some ground, probably quite a bit of it on the first few laps, I would assume, if they can manage to negotiate their way through the field. But I predict a little bit of chaos coming through, as this track is not exactly notoriously easy to overtake on. It's not overly hard. It's a street circuit. I mean, the walls are right next to you the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah, it's if you got what is it? If you're running like a low wing, what is that? Low downforce or high? I'd say low, maybe.
Low downforce.
Yeah, if you're running a low downforce setup, you'll be wanting to make those positions in the slipstream on the straights, and those are going to be your prime passing opportunities, because passing on the mountain can be suicidal unless...
It's near impossible.
Yeah, you really have to trust yourself and your fellow drivers. And what you're saying earlier is, with only a 30-minute race, there's not going to be much time to lay back and kind of get a rhythm going. You got to make your move, and you got to make it sudden, because with only a 30-minute race, about 2 minutes a lap, you're only going to have like maybe 13, 14 laps.
Yes, indeed, but as the famous saying goes, you can always lose your race on turn one, or rather, you can never win a race on turn one, but you can always lose it.
For sure. And as
I don't think turn one's going to be the issue for these guys. It's going to be the entrance of the mountain section, where hopefully we don't see too much chaos.
Yeah, it's usually not bad until you get to that slow left-hander going up, what is this, like Reed Park, or... It's like that first sharp left-hander.
The cutting?
Maybe. But, yeah, when, the drivers are gonna want us to try to get single file as quickly as possible, but with the amount of cars on track, they might not be able to very easily. And if you're someone like Landry, if you get a good start, this start could be great for you.
Yeah, this start is extremely important for not just some of these drivers, all of these drivers. Is like you said, this field is so densely packed and so little time to get through it.
Yeah, so just a quick reminder. So you see the yellow box with the 1 inside of it next to your favorite driver's car number. That means they are required to take a mandatory pit stop before the end of this race. There is no pit window, so you could take it lap 1, you could take it last lap. The pit stop requires a mandatory set of tires. Fuel is not required. And once your driver completes the pit stop with the requirements, their badge will turn green and they will be good to go for the checkered flag.
As all these drivers are now starting to make their way 2x2 Noah's Ark formation into the final corner here. Some of the cars still managing to be on the straight, there are so many of them. Some of these drivers aren't even going to be across turn 1 by the time they go green. This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully they keep it clean as they're going down the start-finish straight now.
As we hear get ready to go green in Bathurst. Green, green. underway. Great start from Landry. So we see a massive move from Rivera down the inside of Mariner. Mariner not going to give that one back. He's going to try to want to get that back in the mountain straight. And we see Portis and Smith go side by side throughout the entire mountain straight as well. A lot of cars side by side right now. So only one yellow flag in the back. Most people managing to make it through turn one just fine. As we come into the mountain section, too wide. Wow. Into the cutting. It's going to be who's going to come out ahead. Is there going to be any contact here? Doesn't look like it, man. Everyone managing to keep it clean so far.
Yeah, so make their way up the mountain now. Landry with a scorcher start he already has like a second on Manier.
Yeah, Manier and Rivera got caught up battling as Manier runs extremely wide and loses it. Oh no! Whoa! And he does get taken out. Wow! He's gonna get dropped to the back of the grid at this. Wow.
Yeah, very unfortunate, and that's unfortunately that's going to be his race there. Luckily, there's a second race right after, not right after, but there's a second race coming up after this first one. As that mistake from Manier, that gives Landry a lot of breathing room. As Manier is struggling to get straight, he's still in the mountain. It looks like he's just starting to get moving now, but that's very unfortunate from him.
Landry's on a different track right now.
Yeah, a little pile up from Manier. Definitely didn't help everyone else's case, but it definitely helped out Landry's.
He was so close to saving it too. He clipped the wall on the upper section and he had two massive saves, but couldn't save it the third time and managed to get tagged.
Yeah, we already see Kenneth Portis jumping in the pits for, I'm assuming, damage repair and to do his mandatory pit stop. Because he got hit Manier quite heavily. Luckily it was the downhill, so you're braking and not really on the gas too much, but it was still a pretty hefty hit. As we actually see a couple drivers in the pit lane as we speak.
Yeah, it must have been quite a bit of contact on that first lap. No surprises there. I'm currently on board with Raza here. Oh no, I shouldn't have even said anything. It's not, who is that? Was that Provolone was
Padberg.
Having a nice battle with, oh, you're right, Padberg, yes, excuse me. Was having a really, really nice battle with Raza. As I was about to say something, he manages to lose it at the bottom of the mountain section.
Yeah, and that's one of those parts of the track where it's very hard to turn around.
Everyone managing to navigate the mountain quite well so far, honestly, as we see all these drivers just tucked in one by one, no one even daring to make a move back here. So all these cars come roaring down the back straight, the Conrad straight.
And only 4 minutes into this race, and Landry has a 4.5 minutes gap to Rivera right now, and then Rivera to Smith, you have about 2 seconds. Or, yeah, about 2 seconds.
Yeah, this field's, honestly, it's spreading out quite a bit right now, as all these cars coming out of the mountain section through the chase are going to be now looking for an opportunity to overtake. So I'm on board here with Mostasero, who's, wow, okay. Hey, Thomas, looking like he really wanted to have a move there, but ran just slightly too wide and puts a tire on the gravel, and there went all of his momentum. But here we go as Mostasero, side by side with Ferreira, manages to get the move done. That was a beautiful move.
Yeah, a little late on the brakes to get by the outside there.
As I think they are teammates, so Ferreira wouldn't have been fighting too much maybe there, but That was still a very nice move. Oh, they are not on the same team, actually.
As we see Andy Oak and Ricardo Sapien going side by side up on the mountaintop.
Ferreira looking a little laggy through this mountain section, worrying me a little bit. He's getting awfully close. Montecero ahead. Might have a look at coming through the back straight here. He might actually.
Ooh, and there's a yellow at Skyline. And
Oh.
that is the 6 car of of T. McDonald.
Manages to rejoin safely. Alrighty. That wasn't too bad. Didn't impede anyone. Looked like an unforced error.
Yeah, that's got to be one of your worst nightmares as a driver, is a yellow flag going over Skyline.
Yeah, get the binders on. Or at least get ready.
Yeah, because you can't see and they might be blocking the entire track.
Mike Burkov has a yellow flag along with Provolone. Not sure if there's a little bit of contact there. Provolone managing to get way off the beaten path.
And he's just going to have to wait his turn to get back on the track safely, as he's still off to the side.
Not sure how he managed to make it over there without collecting any damage. I'm not sure how he managed to make it over there in general. But he did.
Some things are left better a mystery.
And I remember it before, I was saying to keep an eye on Eric Miller at the beginning of this race. He's currently down in P33, so his race falling quite a bit, unfortunately.
Right now we're watching Eric Kakassian. He's being hunted down by Stephen Buckley while also trying to hunt down Aaron Kuhn.
These drivers just trying to survive right now. Not looking like they want to make too much of a move just yet, but they don't have much time. They're going to have to, they all have to pit here soon.
Yeah, we'll see if some of the drivers... Oh! The 28 of Ed Kerstetter clips the wall going around the dipper, and he...
Oh, not the safest rejoin there. Oh, no, as he takes out Ferreira, unfortunately, on the rejoin.
Oh, no. That is very unfortunate.
I think that's going to be a penalty coming Kerstetter's way, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but it happens.
Ferreira still not facing the right way, unfortunately. So his race is now over.
Yeah, it looked like he returned to the pits. Or did he?
No, he did. He's still on track.
He's still on the track.
He waited it out.
Yeah, that was off.
His race is definitely far from ideal.
Yeah, luckily though, it's a doubleheader tonight, so he's just gotta put his head down, maybe try to find a rhythm before the start of the second race, and maybe go take a quick walk, quick breather, get his head ready for the second one.
Yeah, I mean, he can't be too mad about that. That's just one of those unfortunate racing. I mean, you know, it was an unsafe rejoin. It was just unfortunate that it was him.
Yeah, whether it was Kerstetter thinking he had enough of a gap, or he just couldn't see, which could be either of those, or he just made a bad judgment, or yeah, he could have just made a bad judgment call. So we'll see what action gets taken there.
He was in a very good spot, honestly. He just had to wait it out. He just got a little excited and got on the throttle too quickly. But now I'm on board here with Smith, getting chased hard down by Lamlin. Not an inch of breathing room between these two coming through the mountain. Smith basically getting pushed by Lamlin through these corners here. He's got a massive slipstream down to the cutting. We'll see if he can manage to get anything done here.
Yeah, but that Lexus top speed might prove too strong for the BMW, even with the slipstream.
He's maybe going to have a little look. Is he going to cover off the inside? He does Yes, he does cover off the inside. And covers the switch back off nicely. Beautiful. Managing to stay ahead for now. But Lamlin, I suspect that battle is far from over.
For sure.
No, I lied. It's over. He pit.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of damage on that the front end of that BMW. As we got a Roscoe and Versosa coming down the Conrad Straight. Aston Martin versus McLaren. McLaren's going to have the slipstream though. Ooh, as Bronson Turner runs a little wide. Manages to keep it out of the wall, but he's going to lose out a little bit to Camden.
Oh, and Santiago going extremely deep through the cutting there, losing out on that position. Unfortunately, dropping down to 21st. Top bunch here are... Wait a second. Why is there a car going slowly? It's the Trevor McDonald there. Or Tom McDonald, excuse me. Looks like he just... parking up and maybe retiring. Yep.
Looks like Ed Kerstetter's going to get back...
Oh no.
He's going to get past Jamison Cusworth. Bumping him up to P27.
And Nate actually just gave himself a drive-through because he missed his box.
Oh no.
So he ended up having to take one more pit stop, not an actual penalty drive-through, but he had to take one more pit stop than he otherwise would have. So that's going to drop him back from, I think he had a really good race going on there.
Yeah, I think he was P4, I believe.
That sounds right.
As he was chasing Smith for P3.
Mosticero, wasn't he? He started very out of position, if I'm not mistaken, managing to make up quite a bit of ground up to 7th now.
Yeah, you would be correct. Mosticero, he started P18, and he's currently up 11 spots. As he's in P7th, as you said.
In boxing right now. So a pretty good drive so far from him.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through, and he's made up quite a few spots.
You see also Thompson, who was our AM Pro sitter, currently sitting in P7. It's an awesome drive from him. Along with Nick Camden, who's also up there. Maybe where he should be, but a lot of these drivers have yet to pit. I'm sure that this will be... these positions will change by the end. I mean, I guarantee that.
For sure. Still over half the race to go. We've already seen quite a few mistakes, so I believe there probably will be more, especially after the pit stop when the tires are a little on the colder side. Some drivers may push a little too hard on their outlap and might regret it.
All it takes is one tire in the gravel here and you're in the wall. This is a very unforgiving track.
Yeah.
Landry, though, as we just wanted to take a look at him, he's gone. He's on it. Like I say, he's in a different race right now. I mean, barring any errors, he has this race in the bag.
Yeah.
He can just stay out as long as he can till everyone else gets their pit stops done, and then he can just go right in afterwards.
For sure. Or he may pit when he runs into traffic and maybe try to get some clean air. But yeah, that starting incident with Manir definitely slowed everybody down. And
Raza having a bit of a moment. Uh-oh. Sorry to interrupt, but losing out. Looked like 2 positions there. He was having a very good race and lost it in the cutting and in the pit entrance as well. Hopefully he didn't get any damage from that.
yeah, but all season so far, Landry's been amazing in that Lamborghini.
It's making everyone else look like they're driving GT4s.
As we got Quinn Smith and Santiago Orozco going side by side through the cutting, or the chase. And it looks like Quinn Smith is going to come out ahead. As we got Kerstetter going after Miller.
Kerstetter with a very unfortunate incident earlier on in the race where he just lost it by himself and had an unsafe rejoin, unfortunately, back on track, and now he's trying to make up some ground as he manages to get by Miller quite easily, honestly.
Yeah, maybe Miller was thinking he's not fighting him in his split, so maybe just let him by. But we don't know that for sure. May have just not had the pace.
As it looks like he doesn't have the pace, but yeah, he didn't really put up much of a fight, which is interesting. We see Sapien still yet to make a pit stop. A lot of these AM drivers here currently sitting in what seems like very good positions, but they'll be quickly knocked out. But they're only going to be put back, honestly, probably till about 20th. I mean, they're still in this quite a bit. As I switch to is it Cologne? Cologne?
I believe it's pronounced Cologne.
Cologne, okay. Had a bit of a moment there going through the final sector, now comes into box this lap.
Ooh, and there's yellow for the 30 car of Ollie Raza, and it looks like Professor Chronotis is alongside him.
And Mike Burkov is facing the wrong way on track, manages to get the hell out of the way. Wow, that was close.
I don't think Burkov's out of it yet. He's still trying to turn himself around.
Oh, and he backed his diffuser into the wall, unfortunately. That's going to be quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Ooh,
that was just the lightest tap, but that's still going to reap havoc on his diffuser.
Let's see, we got Lamlin and Andy Oak going at it. Lamlin with that unfortunate mishap and missed his pit box, having to give himself a drive-through penalty as the 30 car is off, and that is the 30 car of Ollie Raza again. He must have severe damage.
That's really unfortunate.
But it doesn't look like it. He stays out.
Yeah, I mean, he might just be trying to recover where, I mean, at this point, he'd lose everything by boxing, so why not stay out? That's just a very unfortunate race from Ollie Raza, as he was having a absolutely stellar race towards the beginning, but just had a couple unfortunate incidents and put him pretty far back down the field.
So we got Rusty Nacky in the chat saying it's really tricky to get pinged for track limits.
I was actually on board with Smith just last lap, and I watched him run extremely wide in turn one. I was almost guaranteed, I would say, that he got a warning for that. So hopefully we don't see any penalties coming through, as it's only a 30-minute race. It will be less likely. I mean, drivers are going to be pushing a lot harder in the shorter races, but less time to get a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, and then we got Clutch-O-Matic 500 cheering for Nico, and I can only imagine that is Nico Camden. I believe it's the only Nico on track.
He's also having just a very solid race so far, or at least he was. What happened to him?
Well, he's currently sitting P24.
He was sitting much better than that, I thought. I mean, he pit, I know that, but I thought he might have had a little bit of an incident, as he's going to be lapped here soon by Rivera.
Yeah, so Camden actually had a poor qualifying, started at P29, and he's up to P24 at the moment. So he's made up a few spots. As we have Munir and Turner going side by side, and Munir gets past.
Great drive from Munir, honestly, as he managed to gets shunted on lap 1 down to the back of the field and managed to make up the ground all the way back up to P14 so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to catch Kerstetter at the end, or by the end.
Yeah, there's just under 10 minutes to go, so there's still a little bit of time. See what he can pull off.
And actually, Kerstetter and Mariner running almost identical best laps, but Mariner currently running a bit slower than Kerstetter as he's pushing quite hard. Feels weird to say these two are battling for P13. Jumping on board here with Kenneth Portis, as he actually has a pretty good run here on Cologne. Might be wanting to make a move down the back straight if he can stay tucked in enough through the mountain. As he runs just a little wide there, gonna have a tough time catching, but maybe not. Slipstream's great. And he probably will have a look down the outside, I presume, as Cologne's going to cover the inside angle off pretty hard. Never mind. He leaves the gap wide open, and Portis says thank you very much for leaving that gap open, and takes it with ease. Clockwork overtake. A lot of these drivers here just trying to catch their own bit of clean air if they can. Pretty much all of our drivers have made their pit stops, barring a couple towards the back of the grid. But other than that, everyone else has. Not sure what happened to Padberg there, but very unfortunate race from him and Duran. So I think they just had poor starts, if I'm not mistaken. They started pretty far back, but looks like they didn't manage to make anything of it. Mariner getting by Kronitis.
Well, Padberg, he started in P11.
Snyder loses it. Sorry to interrupt you. Let Snyder lose it at the top of the mountain. Oh no, he was in P7. We'll see where he manages to end up coming out. And he's rubbing along the... Oh no, he's going to have a lot of damage after that. Snyder having such a good race, too, as he qualified out of position, in my opinion. He started quite far back, but he's having a very good race. Manages to lose at unforced error in the mountain. Just like that. And he's now back down to from P7 to P18.
See Nico Camden getting by Ricardo Sapien, and is currently on the hunt for Bruce Hopkins for P22.
Eric Miller up to P16 as he started at a dreadful start where he missed his qualifying lap.
Ooh.
74 off. See Mike Burkov. Oh no. Off on turn 1. Middle of no man's land.
Yeah, it looks like he just forgot there was a turn or something. Interesting.
Yeah, that was very deep in there. And Rivera actually still yet to make a pit stop, our current race leader. But he is a 40, as he is now making his pit stop, he's a 40-second lead on Landry. We'll see if he manages to come out ahead. I don't think he will.
He would have to have a perfect pit stop if he wanted to make that happen. But Landry, he is stuck behind a little bit of traffic here.
Ooh, as they are 3 wide, the Orisako
Landry's just gonna send it past the back markers, and
Oh man.
he wanted it. While Orozco and Ferreira are going almost side by side in the turn 1, and they will go side by side in the turn 1. Orozco with the switchback, but it looks like he'll have the inside line going into turn 1. Ooh, Ferreira getting out just... Ooh, a little bit of contact from them. Ooh, and maybe a bump. Less than 5 minutes to go. These drivers are going at it as the 74 car of Mike Burkhoff lost it at the dipper.
Ollie Raza looks like he's having some sort of technical difficulty or something, as he just went straight on. It was wheel disconnect or something. Ollie Raza, uh-oh, he's in a... He returns to pits with 4 minutes left. Oh, man.
And after, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, he definitely won't be taking P1 after that.
Well, I was just going to say that Marc-Antoine Landry, after Rivera's pit stop, comes out ahead by 13 seconds. With only like 2 laps to go. Landry's just got to take it home. Doesn't need to push the car too hard.
No, just a brilliant race from him. And actually, Eric, sitting in P5, still yet to make a pit stop. I think our only driver probably to do so. I will admit, even it is extremely impressive on how, just how close this field is, even after the 30 minutes. I mean, granted, you know, it's like there's 3 different fields. The people that really messed up, the people that kind of messed up, and the people that didn't. But still, like, even Rudy Mariner, MVP drive, in my opinion, for what he ended up having happen to him at the beginning of this race, and he managed to make it all the way up to P12, didn't quite catch Kerstetter at the end. Might still, but probably not.
Yeah, but Ed Kerstetter hasn't been having the best race himself, so it is possible. Oh, as we see Jamison Cusworth, he smokes the wall, going over Skyline, and Hopkins is basically halted to a stop as he drives by him and avoids him. But Cusworth, he destroyed. That was very unfortunate for him. He hit that wall hard. Drove basically straight through Skyline, hit that in the inside wall, and just, yeah, very unfortunate.
He now has some massive damage, struggling to get the car going. But that was great reactions from Hopkins as he, like you say, put the binders on, coming to a complete halt, and managing to get by without any issue.
Yeah, he's gonna lose out a little bit, but definitely not gonna be as much as if he would have crushed him.
Yeah, not losing out on any positions, that's the important part.
Yeah, very good awareness from him. As we see Bronson Turner and Professor Chronotis within half a second of each other going down the main straight.
Actually, Kerstetter managed to catch up to Jay Thomas, who, like I said before, is having a stellar race. Currently sitting in P9, top of his class.
Oh, and the 81 car of Bronson Turner is facing sideways.
Well, that's going to be a tough one to recover. So leader now coming to the final lap. This shorter 31-minute race or 30-minute race, where the 81 car is still facing the wall. Now rejoining on track. Kerstetter going to be chasing down Thomas here. 1 lap to go. I presume if Kerstetter does catch Thomas, it's not going to fight too hard. We will see.
Yeah, Thompson is he's currently split 3 and Kerstedter's split 1, so it could happen, but if you're Kerstetter, you don't need to do anything too bold, as it is the final lap and you have about just under 2 seconds to maneuver behind.
Yeah, but you're Kerstetter, though. You gotta do something bold.
That is fair. And we have Bengal saying Ollie Raza may have black screened for a second a little bit earlier on when he had his incident.
Yeah. Talk about bold. Kerstetter saying I'm coming by and not taking no for an answer.
Yes,
Looked like he was even fighting it too. It's a very impressive overtake from Kerstetter.
Yeah, he's had a very unfortunate race so far, but you can't take away from his overall pace and speed.
Be very interesting to see if Rudy can manage to get him before the final lap.
Oh!
Oh no!
He keeps it straight, but he slams into that wall.
Oh, he was doing so well.
Yeah,
that's okay. He held on to it. We'll see if he manages to keep this position by the end. He should be able to.
Yeah, right now, Andy Oak, I believe, is his closest competitor, and it is at least like 13 seconds between the two of them. It's probably more, but I can't even see him on the relative screen.
Yeah, it's over 20.
Yeah. As we have Mark Antoine. Wait, Landry.
Duran spun out on the side of the track for some reason. I don't know what happened there.
Landry crossed the line with P1, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he got off the track really quick. As we have Rivera, I think he came across the line in P2 as... Interesting. Yeah, so Landry P1, Rivera P2, Gage Gonzalez in P3, Chris Moses P4, Smith P5, Masachero P6, Portis P7, Cologne P8 and P1 for split 2. We have Kerstetter 9th, Munir 10th, Thompson P11 and your split 3 winner. You have Nate Lamlin in 12, Miller 13, Snyder 14, Cronotes 15, Fallon 16, Oak 17, Camden 18, Sapien 19, Hopkins 20, Kuhn just crossed the board in the line in 21st, Eric Bukowski in 22nd, Bronson Turner's coming across the line 23rd, and Versosa is coming up to the final turn as we speak, and I believe that'll be the last driver to cross the line.
That was a very good race one. A lot of action on track.
Yeah, a lot of action, but also a lot of heartbreak for some of these drivers.
Yeah, indeed. Some drivers having a pretty solid recovery drive, but others managing to kind of put it in the bucket a little bit, unfortunately. Eric Miller being one of those who managed to recover from, I think it was down in P27 or somewhere down there, all the way up to P13.
You're close. He started P31.
Oh, wow.
So that just makes his drive even better than what you credit him for.
That's a very solid drive. That's a lot of positions.
For sure. That's 18 positions from the start of that race.
And Rudy Mariner also having a race that doesn't look like it as he started in towards the top, but managing to fall all the way back to the back of the grid and recovering up to P10. Solid drive from him.
Yeah, and we also got Andreas Mostachero starting P18, and he finishes P6.
Wow.
And then another driver that gained a lot of positions, Bruce Hopkins. He finished P20 and he started P34. So like the literal back of the grid, the back row. and he made up 14 positions and finished in the top 20.
Very impressive. Solid, solid drive.
Yeah, but if you're someone like Jacob Padberg, who started in 11th, finished P30, dropping down 19 positions.
Yeah, I really feel for Mike Burkov, as he had a fairly good start and just unfortunately ended up hitting every single wall on the track, it seems.
Had a very unfortunate race one.
Getting stranded at turn 1 was not helpful either.
No. As he finished P28, started P15, he lost out quite a bit.
Someone go for one more lap. You gotta love it. The race is closed, but hey, drive one more. Why not?
Yeah, we're waiting for the server to just jump over to the next free practice. As sounds like we just jumped up to the next free practice.
Yeah, a lot of drivers probably not going to be doing too much. Probably some of the lower split 3 drivers maybe wanting to make some setup changes or whatnot.
Yeah, for some of these drivers, you might want to make some slight changes and try about, and for others, you might just want to leave your setup alone, as some of these drivers had quite a scorcher of a race.
Rusty Nacky asking if there is any sort of attendance requirements or if they're in the races at this time. Yes, the race does always start at 8:30 Eastern Time on Sundays, and attendance, we don't have a required attendance, but we typically have pretty big turnouts, especially since we now are alongside our partners Box 3 and 949, who are just awesome.
No.
So these leagues have not really had any issue with attendance lately.
Yeah, it's been great seeing these 3 communities join together, and it seems like it's been for the best, as a lot of these like different seasons pretty full across the 3 of them.
Just so much competition too.
Yeah, as we'll look at the schedule real quick while we're in free practice. We'll have a 2-week break after tonight from both the GT3, GT4, and the GT3 field, as next week is Independence Day, so we'll be taking that week off. And then the week after is the 949, Box 3, and Trackalicious 6-hour Enduro will be after that. And then we will be back to our regular weekly schedule of Thursdays and Sundays. And at that point, after the Enduro, it will be 5 weeks back to back to back, with no more breaks in between.
Yeah, it's gonna be tiring towards the end. I'm really looking forward to the Enduro coming up here soon. That's gonna be a really fun race.
Yeah, I drove the... Oh, go ahead.
I completely off topic. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say I drove the 6 hours of Hungaroring solo, and that was fun, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah, no, those Enduros are a ton of work. So I'm gonna be casting that. I think. Are you gonna be alongside me for that one?
Yeah, I will be. If not for all of it, I will be in the booth with you.
Awesome. And Rusty Nacky, I will now answer. So yeah, if you feel free to just go ahead and join up our Discord. It's Trackalicious Discord, and talk with either pretty much anyone in there. Is going to be helpful and get you signed up and get you in this if you're interested.
Yeah, so
we're always taking new drivers.
Yeah, so I'll add on a little bit. So we're supposed to have a field of 50 cars, but we have never actually seen 50 cars. You can sign up as a reserve driver and essentially just hop in, as, yeah, we've This is our 5th week, and we have never had 50 cars on a single grid yet.
That makes more sense. Yeah, Rusty, if you wanna, we're happy for any skill level to join. That's the other thing. That's why we have our 3 different brackets. Make competition fun for everyone.
Yes, we got Eddie 1991 in the chat. How are you doing tonight, Eddie? Hope you've been having a good weekend, and we appreciate you. We appreciate all you guys closing out your weekend here with us.
Hopefully you guys had a nice weekend here in the States. I know at least on the West Coast, it was a hot one. I am currently sweating approximately everywhere.
Yeah, I'm in Eastern Canada, and it's been pretty warm here as well.
Yeah, well, Rusty, it's Monday for you, but that's cheating, because you live in the future, which just doesn't count. All these AU folks and whatnot.
And it's winter.
Like I say, they're in the future. It's not winter here.
It's the exact opposite. I mean, Eddie, it is a very good league. A lot of these drivers, you know, they respect each other. Like, so, for the most part, we try to strive for clean racing. And yeah, we have a lot of EU drivers in this series, so everyone is welcome to join. We have a couple Australians.
So I'm not sure if you're on board with anyone right now, as I see you are, but I was just watching Raza follow Orisako, and he could not get by Santiago for the life of him. Ends up putting it in the wall, just out of sheer impatience. You love to see it in FP1 or FP2, excuse me.
Yeah, luckily it's just practice, so maybe that's why he was trying to attempt it, as there was really not too much of a consequence.
No, exactly. That's why. If it was qualifying, I'm sure he would have just backed off and gave him plenty of room, but
Oh, for
you know,
sure.
you gotta race. You gotta race a little bit. Even in practice.
Alright, we have less than 3 minutes of free practice to go until we start our second qualifying session. I think I am going to go grab a drink real quick, and I will be right back.
You got it. As we see actually quite a few drivers making their way out on track right now, just to probably do some setup and whatnot. No, yeah, for sure. When it comes to the cleanness, I mean, you know, it happens. It's racing. It's impossible to keep your car clean every single race. Everyone makes mistakes. But when it comes to the quote-unquote weirdos, I mean, if you can tolerate me, I think you're going to be all good. We don't really got any so-called weirdos, I would say. Maybe Eric, as he's off track, but you know, he's also the host of Trackalicious, so I can give him a little bit of flack. Times, actually, you see Rudy Mariner putting in a 2:02.5. He's trying very hard in practice. That's what you like to see. No one else really having any comparable lap times Everyone just kind of looking like they're just doing setup, getting their setup set up. You know how it is. And hopefully Raza, I'm going to be keeping an eye on him this race, as hopefully he will have a better race than last one, where it was going quite well until it wasn't. And then it all kind of fell apart. I also love to see where Eric Miller qualifies in this session. Hopefully he can manage to get a lap set this time. It will be the same as before, where we have the split qualifying, where the split 3 drivers will be going out first. I don't know the times, so I'm not going to incorrectly say them. But, oh,
That
sounds
seems like I got back at the perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect. Someone that can actually explain the timings properly for the
qualifying. Okay,
free
so
to take it away.
yeah. All right. If you weren't here towards the beginning and you have no idea how the qualifying is going to work, I'll explain that real quick for you guys. So there's going to be a 19-minute qualifying session. The first minute, so from 19 to 18, there'll be no cars on the track. This is for setup changes only, just to give everyone a fair shot of doing any fuel changes or brake pad changes or something like that and not losing out any time. So the first minute will be just for setup changes. At the 18-minute mark, you'll have split 3 drivers come out. They'll go from 18 to 12. At the 12-minute mark, the split 2 drivers will come out, and they will go from 12 to 6. And then at the 6-minute mark, there will be the split 1 drivers coming out, and they will go from 6 to checkered.
Awesome. Yeah, rip that Lexus indeed. That was
Just slid
quite an
through
impact.
slid through Skyline and smoked the wall there. Seems like it's a common occurrence tonight.
Yeah, very much so. Looked like that one was a little more on the intentional side, but hopefully we don't see too much of that in this next race here.
Yeah, but it's a little bit longer of a second race, as the second race will be 45 minutes and not 30.
Yeah, the drivers won't be as grabby for their positions, but let's be honest, yes, they will.
And
I actually see Rudy dropping into the 201s for free practice, so just a very good lap from him. He's trying to, he wants to redeem himself from last race, you can definitely tell.
I was actually just on board with Santiago Orozco, and he has, I just noticed he has like a 007 on the back of his car with like the gun and everything.
Oh yeah.
Looks clean. But anyways, 30 seconds until the drivers can come out of the pits. You'll probably see a few of the drivers queuing up, and it looks like some of them already have started queuing up. So it's like Tom McDonald and Eric Kakasian, Jamison Cusworth just joining in behind. Ricardo Sapien behind him. We got Versosa coming through now as Tom McDonald takes the track. And a bunch of these other these split 3 drivers starting to take the track as well. Starting their first outlap before they start their first flyer. So
yeah, we'll see how, definitely drivers to keep an eye on for this stint are going to be, well, Thompson, who managed to finish P1 in the last race for his class. We'll see if he ends up dominating as much as he did last time, because that was just a very good performance from him.
yeah, and what I was gonna say is, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I can't
Not that
remember.
important. All good.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see what happens at the beginning of this race, and hopefully nothing happens to kind of slow the rest of the grid down, and puts your pole setter at like a 3-second gap on the first lap.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the race for P1 is a bit more interesting than this one, but I'm sure that a couple other drivers might disagree with you on that one.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So, unlike the last qualifying session, we are now at an optimum track grip level. So the times should be a little quicker than last qualifying.
Yeah, with the way Rudy was plowing on in qualifying, or in practice, we'll see if he can manage to get in the sub 2 minutes. Rudy is one of those drivers that if you give him a smell of a bone, he is going to chase it for essentially eternity. Even if the bone isn't there, he will still chase it. So I predict Rudy Mariner on pole, just personally.
Yeah, there was, he definitely had the pace for it at one point in his final lap. He just couldn't complete the lap with that pace. As there are a couple drivers who could probably take pole going into this second race here. I could see Portis, I could see Manir, I could see Gonzalez, Smith, Rivera, Landry, I could see Kerstetter, Mostachero, Raza. Basically, any one of these split one drivers I could see taking pole position if they get a good lap in.
No, for sure. This is a very competitive field where extremely close field spread right now. Currently, we're looking at our split 3 drivers as we see Tom. I don't know why I keep saying Trevor McDonald, but Tom McDonald rounding the back of the mountain section here, coming on to the Conrad Straight. Let's see what sort of time he can manage to set.
Ooh, and it looks like there may have been some yellow for the 263 car. And I think they may have returned to the pits, as that's Ricardo Sapien, and it looks like that is the case.
He's going to need to hurry up on the track if he's going to want to get a lap set.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not going to have enough time now.
Yeah.
As McDonald's coming around the final turn now, we'll see where he sets the bar. 2:03.892. So we have Eric Gukasian coming around right behind with a 2:04.657. Jamison Cusworth coming around the final turn. 2:06.827, currently sitting P3.
These are not the times that I was expecting.
Now they should improve going on to their second and final lap. As we see Versosa, P6. Aaron Kuhn jumps up to P5 as Cusworth drops down to P6. Andy Yoke to P4 and Bronson Turner to P2.
Ooh, Andy Yoke losing it around turn 1. Or actually, I think he just came to a close on this lap. Never mind. I was definitely expecting to see, even from this split though, a little bit faster times. Is 2:06 and 2:08. Those are not exactly representative well, it looks like Tom McDonald is going to be sitting with his time as he just clatters the wall in the mountain section, unfortunately. Doubt he'll be improving on this lap.
Was that McDonald or was that Cusworth? Because Cusworth returned to the pits.
It might have also been Cusworth. I was on board with McDonald.
Well, it may have been McDonald then, but Cusworth also had a pretty hefty shunt into the wall, and there goes his qualifying as he'll be starting, it looks like, P8 at best.
Well, certainly not P8.
As we'll see where McDonald will cross the line with, but it looks like he's up on his Delta.
He will not be crossing the line as he comes in the pits.
Well, Eric Kukassian jumps up to P2 with a 2:03.992. Good lap from him. Daniel Versosa currently sitting P9 with a 2:07.580. He's coming across the line. He's going to jump up. Doesn't look like he's going to jump up. He improves his time, but it's not enough. As we see these final couple of drivers coming across the line, we see Orozco coming around the final turn now. He improves, but still only P10. 60 car of Hopkins up to P6. We got the 56 car of Thompson up into P5, and the 73 car of Stephen Buckley P3 with a 2:04.325 as the split 2 drivers take the track.
Yeah, with Cologne leading the field in the Lexus.
Yeah, so for your split 3 qualifying, you have your pole setter, Tom McDonald, Eric Kukassian in P2, great lap from him. Stephen Buckley in P3, Bronson Turner in P4, Jack Thompson in P5, Andy Oak P6, Bruce Hopkins in 7, Aaron Kuhn in 8th, Jamison Cusworth in 9th, Versosa in 10th, and rounding it out is Santiago Orozco, as I believe every split 3 driver set a valid lap this time around.
Perfect. Oh, not quite actually. We had Elmer and Sapien.
Elmer and Sapien, right.
But close.
We see Cologne crossing the line, starting his first flyer of the session.
All these cars giving each other plenty of space on track, which is what you love to see. No one wants to get caught up in traffic when you have such a short time in qualifying. Everyone being very respectful with each other.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having your quality lap get ruined by catching up to somebody. Like, it feels good knowing you have the pace, but it feels bad because you might have been on a great lap and you have to abandon it.
Yeah, that's never what you want to have. I'm just learning some new stuff about race control. All right. Cool. Okay, we're good. I'm back to where I can actually read it. That was concerning. So far here we got, looks like, where's that? The car number 48 of Cologne coming down the back straight. Not quite. This doesn't look like it's going to be the best lap from him. But we will see when he crosses the line, as these deltas tend to not be completely accurate.
Yeah, but even if it's not the greatest lap, you'll still have another time around to try to improve it. As he crosses, it's been P3 with 2:04.032.
Definitely not the greatest lap.
Oh, it already going through turn 1. He's already up 3/10.
Yeah, that seems more like it. I'm very shocked at these times that we're seeing right now in the 2:03s. Not even one driver yet to break into the 2:02s yet. Oh, there we Mike Burkhoff 2:03.1.
He's close,
now,
but not quite. Yes, we got Mike Burkhoff taking provisional pole, and Jarek Snyder 6/10 behind him. Nico Camden up to P4, Cologne P6, Miller 7, and Provolone in 14th. Definitely going to want to be improving on that lap.
For sure. It's actually Jarek Snyder having a very solid lap so far. Looking like he will be making it into the 202s if he keeps this lap up. And he's even going to have maybe a little cheeky slipstream going on to the back straight too, which will help out a ton. Well, he didn't make it to the back straight to get the slipstream. Unfortunately, that looks like that's going to be the end of qualifying for Jarek Snyder.
It would seem that way.
Bins it in the mountain section, unfortunately. He's on a very solid lap, too. That sucks. Nick Camden here, also on a very solid lap. So he's going to manage to come in when he crosses the line. This is
very close to
probably
pole.
go into the
P2.
Yeah, almost into the, still not quite into the 202s.
But if Burkhoff can keep his pace up, he might be in the 202s. We'll see if he nails this final corner.
Oh yeah.
And he does. He hits it. The 202 917. He looks like he'll be the only split 2 driver to hop into the 209 or the 202s. As we see the split 1 driver start taking the track, you have your split 2 pole setter Mike Burkhoff. In P2 you got Nico Camden, E. Miller in P3, Jarek Snyder in P4. You got William Colon in P7, Ross Fowl in P10. You have Jason Provolone in 14th. And you have Chronotis, who did not set a lap, going to be starting towards the back. And yeah, I believe he's the only split 2 driver to not set a lap this time around. As we see Nate Lamlin taking the charge for the split 1 drivers. He'll be the first one across the line to set his first flyer.
All these drivers just spacing each other out, as always, giving each other the respect that, quite frankly, each of them deserve. But they are quite close together, actually, coming into this. They might get a little bunched up.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that, but it could happen.
Lamlin so far taken very aggressive lap so far. He's actually just crushing this time, it seems like. Gonzalez just finding some position on track. A lot of Hondas.
Yeah, there are quite a few Hondas on the grid this season. And I know the Honda is usually pretty good here at Bathurst.
Yeah, I have most experience in the McLaren, which you see probably the most McLarens. I didn't like the McLaren on this track ever. I was terrible at this track.
Oh, I'm still terrible at this track.
Yeah, fair. I just don't drive as much anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Lamlin looking like he's actually going to put in a very solid lap here. Probably going to be breaking into the 201s, I presume. Assuming he doesn't have anything too catastrophic coming out of these last few corners.
We'll just have to wait and see, as he's only got 1 turn left to go. He's going to cross the line.
Yep, into the 201s. There we are, 201.6. It's a very solid lap from him. Lambden, though, I think if I saw correctly, was getting challenged by... Who was that? Yeah, Landry, there we go. Was on a very solid lap and does manage to go 0.2 quicker.
Yeah, Lamlin sets a scorcher of a lap, and Landry comes in here and says, "Hold my beer." Well, in this case, water, because don't drink and drive. But Landry with a 2:01 4:57.
Yeah, Landry seems like he's on another just level on this track. But Lamlin, though, he's going to be wanting to put a fight to it. He's not going to be a pushover that easily, I don't think, because he's currently not quite looking like he's going to take the fastest lap on this one. But
well, it looks like Lamlin at this moment in time is about 0.3 up on their time. So this will be very close, it looks like, between Lamlin and Landry.
yeah, well, Landry also, though, on a pretty decent lap himself. This is going to be extremely close. And not to mention Rudy Mariner, also just right behind them as well. But not looking like he's going to improve on this lap, unfortunately, and this will be his last lap.
As Lamlin comes around the final corner, up 0.5. He's going to cross the line with a 2:01 162. Let's see where Landry finishes us off at.
I don't think that's going to be as good. I don't think Landry's going to...
No, I don't think so. I think Lamlin might take pole here. Oh, and the Delta just went up on that final turn, but it went back down as Landry comes across the line with a 2:01 332 in P2. But that was very close, yeah. He kind of got caught behind Raza a little bit, but he still almost made it work. As Rivera crossed the line in P3, we got Portis. He's coming around the final turn now, currently about 0.7 up on their Delta. So cross the line in P3.
Wow.
Quinn Smith sneaks up into P4, just ahead of Portis. He crosses the line. Then we have the 13 car of Gage Gonzalez and the 36 car of Chris Moses, the last two drivers to set a valid lap. Gonzalez currently 0.9 up to P3 with a 2:01 535. Now we got Chris Moses making his way towards the final turn. He's barely up on his Delta, but he is up about 0.2. He's going to improve, but not enough to jump a position.
Lamlin. All right. That was a very, very good qualifying there.
Ah, Scorcher was... If you would there was a coin flip between who was going to take pole there, either Lamlin or Landry. It doesn't seem like anybody else had an answer for these two.
Well, I mean, the other ones were only about 0.3 off, and that was all the way down to 8th.
Yeah, they were... It was a very close qualifying.
So much for my prediction of Rudy Mariner on pole is if you turn this... If you can look at a 7 cross-eyed enough, it kind of looks like a 1.
Alright, as qualifying comes to an end, we're just waiting for session start time. We'll do another quick... Not quick, because there's a lot of them, but we'll do a grid rundown, and hopefully by then we'll be starting the formation lap for our second and final race of the evening. It was a close one in the end, but we have Mr. Nate Lamlin taking pole position in that 11 BMW. Alongside him, you have Marc-Antoine Landry in the 88 Lamborghini. In the second row, you got Gage Gonzalez and Kenneth Portis II. Behind them, you got Quinn Smith and Ricardo Rivera in 5th and 6th. Riley Manier in P7th. Ed Kerstetter in P8. And rounding out the top 10, you got Chris Moses in 9th and Burkhoff in 10th. And Mike Burkhoff is actually your split 2 pole setter. Great lap from him. Alongside him, you have Andreas Mostachero in P11, Nico Camden in P12, Ollie Raza in P13, Jacob Padberg in P14, Eric Miller in P15, Renato Ferreira in P16, Jarek Snyder in P17, and you have your split 3 pole setter, Tom McDonald in P18, and right behind him, or alongside him, you have Eric Kakasian in P19, and rounding out the top 20, you have William Colon. But there are still a couple more drivers to go, as we have Dominic Duran in P21, Stephen Buckley in P22, Bronson Turner in P23, Ross Fallon in 24th, Jack Thompson in 25, Andy Oak 26, Bruce Hopkins in 27, Jason Provolone P28, Aaron Kuhn P29, Jamison Cusworth in 30, Versosa in 31st, Orozco in 32nd, Kronotis, Elmer, and Sapien at 33rd, 34th, and 35th, rounding out the grid, this 35-car grid, as we hear the drivers starting up their engines, and we are starting up this formation lap.
Yes, indeed, as we now start to get underway here in this 45, well, start of a formation lap of this 45-minute race, where we see Lamlin on pole and Landry, the previous race winner, currently in P2. We'll see if he can manage to, well, actually have a bit of a battle this race rather than walking away. And also, Rivera is one to keep an eye on, or Raza, excuse me. Raza is the one to keep the eye on, as he's down in P13, having a very solid start to last race, but not quite making anything of it, as he's going to want some redemption on this one.
Yeah, so we've actually got the 56 car of Jack Thompson. He's going to be doing a pit lane start this time around.
And Tom McDonald, was he, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he was P1 in the last stint, or in the last race as well for his class.
No, it was actually Thompson who was P1.
Oh, it was Thompson. Okay.
Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah, both Toms.
Yeah.
Well, we will see if Tom McDonald can manage to hold P1 this time then.
Wait. And Nate Lamlin's in the pit lane, actually. I think he may have gone too far ahead of the pack.
Oh.
So Landry's going to be starting from the front row. From the front with Gage Gonzalez.
That sucks.
That does. Yikes.
Yeah, like that really sucks. That was a well-deserved pole too.
I know, it was a great lap, and even beating out Landry, but I guess he was just too far ahead of the pack, as I did see him very far ahead, but didn't think anything of it. Thought maybe the other drivers were just a little bit slow. Maybe Landry, like F1, just kind of held them up a little bit.
Yeah, not sure. That I never like seeing that. 'Cause that was, I mean, he now has to start from essentially the back of the grid.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be starting behind Thompson as well.
He's gonna have a bit of work to do. For start cars now making their way onto the Conrad Straight, getting ready to go side by side. So they're getting somewhat ready to start their lap here, this 45-minute race too, here at Bathurst. Last race was extremely exciting, with contact absolutely everywhere, it seemed like, on the first lap. So we will see if this race is as similar.
Yeah, there was a little bit of PvP, but it was mostly PvE, as a lot of it was just drivers hitting the wall and minimal contact, and the contact was usually caused by the other drivers hitting the wall and flying and blocking the track a little bit. As we'll do a quick little explanation here if you weren't here towards the beginning. You see the yellow badge with the 1 inside of it next to your favorite driver's number. There's a required pit stop that requires you to take tires. Once you take tires and you serve your pit stop, your badge will go green and you're good to go to the checkers. There is no pit window. And yeah, that's about it. Everyone's required to make a pit stop with a tire change.
Yeah, the drivers lining up here 2x2 Noah's Ark as they round the Murray's corner.
And look at Landry just sitting pretty up in the front row all by himself.
Yeah, Lamlin's going to hate to hear these cars coming around where he should be leading this pack, but unfortunately is not, as we're about to go green here in Australia. We are green, we're racing. It's a lovely start from Lamlin.
You mean Landry?
Landry, yes, that is what I meant. The extremely lovely start from Landry as everyone making their way through.
Bit of a pile up in the back.
Ooh.
Oh, there's a car like a foot in the air.
Yeah, there was.
Jesus.
McLaren caught some air. Rudy Mariner going side by side down into the mountain, and they don't make contact. Luckily, wow, that was some good racing from a lot of these drivers. Kerstetter getting pushed kind of out of like everything. Rudy really boxed him out there and managed to hold on to that position, or take it rather.
Yeah, a little bit of a messier start than race 1. But for the most part, it looks like everyone's still driving and bunched up. But that's probably going to force the hand of a couple pit stops on lap 1.
Oh, for sure. As we see P1 under pressure from Gonzalez. Gonzalez wanting to take the lead of this race early. That way he can just determine the pace of it and drive his own.
Ooh, it's the 89 car and the 720 car. They're spread out a little bit, so they're not involved with each other, but they are both yellow on the track at the moment as Landry is under fire from Gonzalez. Will Gonzalez try to make it on the inside here? And it looks like he's just going to slot in behind Landry for now.
He could have went for that.
Would have been an ambitious dive, but yeah, you could have seen it.
Portis looking like he's holding up the rest of the pack here in P3. Letting Gonzalez and Landry kind of pull away from him.
So we'll see if Gonzalez can get a slipstream going down the main straight as Bronson Turner and Versosa going at it as Chronotis jumps into the pits for an early pit stop. As we see Rivera and Portis going side by side, but he slots in between Portis and Smith.
We have a battle for P22 as well right now with Turner and Ballin and Sapien all getting involved.
Yeah, three-way battle between P21 and 23 right now.
Like it may be settled out a little bit, but McLaren, Turner still wants to keep that position. As we look at P17 here of Trevor McDonald, as he's holding up Buckley on the mountain section here, and almost getting pushed along. Oh, as we see Eric losing it there, clipping the wall, then clipping the wall, and then clipping another wall. He probably is going to have to come in for some repairs on this lap. He hit the wall like 4 times.
I hate to see it. As we're still on board with this action for P1 between Landry and Gonzalez as we jump back to Quinn Smith, who's currently trying to hunt down Rivera and getting hunted down by Kerstetter. Jarek Snyder's going along the outside of Miller. Looks like Snyder's going to get ahead of Miller, and Miller's going to slot in behind. Snyder's going to make that move stick for now.
Cero comes into the pits. Portis still managing to be the brick wall of P3 right now and holding Rivera up. Not sure how long that's going to last, but he's doing a good job of it. It's the 888 car. Car number 31 sideways on the mountain section, unfortunately. Manages to get out of trouble before any lap traffic comes to deal with him, luckily. And Lamlin, I guess, was our pole sitter down in P24 after taking a pit start, pulling too far away from the pack on the formation lap, unfortunately. So far, I mean, he's making up ground, but he's still at the back of the pack, more or less.
Yeah, he'll be able to make up quite a few positions, I would think. The only thing is, trying to catch the front of this field isn't going to be an easy task.
No, as he's currently, like I say, the back of the field of drivers yet to pit. And Portis. This is entertaining, watching Portis hold up this entire line of cars. I have no idea how he's managing to do this. And Rivera actually kind of getting backed up into P5 where they're battling. They're occupied.
There's a Lexus off. That is the Lexus of Cologne. He's getting in the way. He's getting in the middle of these guys. I don't think he wants any part of it. And
no,
he doesn't.
Does not.
As he just lets them all go by. He lets the 5 cars go by without a problem.
He stayed as far away from that as he possibly could.
He wanted none of it. Which I completely understand.
Man, Portis just going so defensive. Oh, you love to see it. I don't know why this is so entertaining to me, but I'm really liking watching this 84 car hold up the rest of this pack for some reason. Like I say, I don't know how he's managing to do it. I feel like he should be an easy overtake, but clearly not. Oh! Quinn Smith was that, or was that Kerstetter clouding the barrier?
That was Kerstetter again, unfortunately.
Wow, that looked unassisted too. Moses running wide into the gravel, but Kerstetter absolutely smashing that wall.
Yeah, but it looks like Portis is being just like a brick wall, making that Honda as wide as possible.
As he parks it right in the center of the straight, going down the Conrad straight, not letting anyone go by. Rivera probably getting awfully fed up at this point.
Oh, he's going to challenge him.
Oh, Portis is going extremely defensive on the inside, but Rivera manages to get it done late on the brakes on the outside. Nice move from Rivera. That was a long time coming. But Portis looking like he wants to have a look back at him. I don't think he's going to manage to do anything with it, but he wants it. That's a good fighting spirit.
Hey, put up a solid defense for almost 10 minutes. As we see Bronson Turner and Sapien going side by side, and looks like Sapien's gonna come out ahead a little bit as Turner's gonna jump into the pits.
Not too many cars in the wall yet. for all things considered, compared to last race.
Yeah.
Gonzalez looking like he managed to fall back a bit. Now Landry just kind of pulling away like he was last race, not quite as hard. Rivera, he's almost no chance of catching Gonzalez anytime soon after getting held up for 10 minutes by Portis II, who did an amazing job defending. And he still continues to do so, as now he has Quinn Smith right on his bumper. Kerstetter stayed out after clouding the barrier and didn't actually come into the pits, and looks like he's managing to hold his pace quite well.
Ooh,
He hit the wall pretty hard.
the 11 car is off. That's Nate Lamlin. He's facing the wrong way. And just disaster on top of disaster for Nate Lamlin.
Yeah. This is a race to forget for him. That is extremely unfortunate.
As Quinn Smith is under fire from Manier and Portis. But he's going to stay out ahead for now, but it looks like Manier's got the inside line. He's going to have the inside line going into turn 1. As they're going to go side by side.
I guess Manier got by Portis very easily there. Making a little bit of contact to Mariner and Quinn Smith, but nothing but a little bit of rubbing. As Portis now wants to have a look on the outside down the mountain straight on Mariner. Or a Manier.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try.
This is not going to work. Not in a million years. He's managing to stay with them. Man, Portis, it's a very solid race from him so far. Mike Burkov managing to hold his ground in P7. He's just kind of driving his own race right now. So we don't have too much action on track, except for we jump on board with the 5 car actually. But Eric looks like he's holding them quite a bit. Buckley's got some pace, wants to get by, but Eric doing a great job of not letting him.
Yeah, I believe Eric is actually P1 in class right now.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Lovely drive from Eric.
Yeah. As there is yellow for the 463 car. I believe that might be Versosa.
Looks like that was just an unforced error. All by himself.
As we have Eric and Buckley going at it. Doesn't look like Buckley will have a big enough run to send it into the chase.
He might get the switchback on him here. Have a good run into the final turn. Doesn't quite look like it. As he does close up quite a bit, he's going to maybe want to have a look into the mountain section here before he, because if he's definitely going to want to get by him before that. Because if he can pull away pretty hard as he closes up heavily under braking, taking the alternate line. Oh yeah, he wants that position.
And he might take it going down this straight if he can get a good enough run. And if Eric doesn't close off the defensive line, and then it looks like Buckley is making the move.
Can he go late enough on the brakes? He does. Eric almost a little early on the brakes.
A little bit of bumping between the two, and now Eric might lose out to McDonald, and he does.
Wow.
And Eric drops from P1 to P3 just like that.
That looked like a bit of nerves. That's really unfortunate, because, I mean, honestly, Eric would have had that corner if he'd brake it just a little bit later. It would have been risky. Oh, as we see yellow flag on track for car number 81 of Turner, who's sideways on the mountain section in a very poor spot.
Yeah, he's gonna be sitting there for quite a while.
Yes, hopefully everyone can manage to to avoid him. He is more or less in the middle of the track. I mean, he's off the racing line, but it's not ideal.
Oh, and it seems like Buckley may have got caught looking as Buckley slams into the wall. He stays straight, but took a bit of a hit there. Doesn't look like he touched him at all.
Oh, and Turner actually returned to pits. Oh, and we have contact between Eric and Provolone, and between Hopkins and Sapie. We have a massive pile up at the end of Forest Elbow, actually.
And it looks like Eric, he had just returned to pits really fast after that one.
Oh, no.
So I don't think he's very happy with the outcome of that, but I don't really know what happened, so I don't know if it was his fault or if it was another's fault. But anyways, we'll avoid that for now as we'll jump back on board with a couple of these drivers. As for Sosa, coming out of the pit lane right in front of Nate Lamlin. It looks like Lamlin's going to have the run going into this fast right-hander.
Ooh, okay. So as I just went back to rewatch that incident a little bit, looked like Eric actually maybe broke a little early. I'm not sure if the car behind him broke a little late, but he ended up getting rear-ended and spun around and then tagged by 3 different people.
Oh no. Hate to see it. As Cusworth and Versosa are going at it. Cusworth was thinking about making a move on the inside, going up the mountain. He backs off, thinks better of it, as there's still lots of race left to go.
Landry just pulling that lead out that he had last time. At least he's beginning to.
Oh, and there's contact between Versosa and Cusworth. Looks like they're both going to keep it straight, but Cusworth is going to come out ahead of Versosa. So we got Moses outbraking himself and almost rear-ending Raza going around the chase. And Moses is going to drop back a little bit because of it.
Cusworth managing to actually hold on there. I didn't think he was going to be able to.
As we see, I believe that's the Audi of Stephen Buckley hopping into the pits.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers have managed to make their pit stop already. As we see, I was just jumping on board with Mike Burkow, wondering why he was in P15. It's because he made his stop. He is still just driving his own race.
Yeah, tried to go for the undercut. As we still have Marc-Antoine Landry in the lead by about over 8.5 seconds to Rivera in P2. And then you have Rivera 4 seconds to Riley Manier behind. And you got 3 seconds between Manier and Portis. And then you have 10 seconds to Portis to Raza.
Quite a large field spread at the top. Not what you would expect, or at least not what you would hope for.
Now, as we see Fallon getting by Duran. Looks like Gage Gonzalez is going to try to get past the back marker of Andy Oak. Or, no, he just passed the back marker of Andy Oak. But he currently has his eyes set on Ed Kerstetter, who just got past Orozco, who's a back marker. But Gage Gonzalez has to slot in behind Orozco, and he's going to try to send it on the inside. And Orozco does the smart thing and backs off, but Gage Gonzalez, very bold move from them. And Gage Gonzalez into the wall, and he's
wow.
still trying to recover the car in a big spin.
Wow, he managed to get it stopped before getting back onto track and collecting anyone else, luckily, but that was a completely unforced error.
Yeah, just trying to get past that back marker car, got himself off the line, and then had difficulty trying to get back on the line.
We got Rudy Mariner in P3 still yet to pit. Not mistake, actually a lot of the field have yet to pit so far. Never mind on that.
Yeah.
So probably about half our drivers have made their pit stop so far.
Yeah, there's a couple of the front runners that still need to make their pit stop.
Nate Lamlin currently in P25. Not terrible, all things considered.
Yeah, with the way his race started, it's a decent so far. See if how much he can recover throughout the rest of this race. As we see Chris Moses currently trying to get past the back marker of Padberg. As the field is quite spread out.
Yeah, I'm looking at Mike Burkhoff here, who's navigating through traffic right now on the mountain section. He's now behind Dorsacco. And he has Quinn Smith right behind him pretty much, about 2 seconds, who also has to navigate these back markers.
And
Mike
as you
Burkhoff.
were... I'll go ahead.
No worries, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we jumped on board with Chris Moses as you were talking, and he almost lost it going in through the chase. So we got Andy Oak challenging Orozco. And Quinn Smith trying to get by, and he does get by Andy Oak, kind of forces his way through.
Yeah, Quinn Smith needs to get by these back markers if he wants to have a chance of catching Mike anytime soon here. They also have Eric in front of them, who did manage to come back out on track. I thought Eric pit, though.
Yeah, he returned to garage, unless he looks like he probably came back out.
He still is yet to pit, though, so I guess returning to garage doesn't count as a pit stop.
Yeah, it does not, unfortunately. As Quinn Smith sends it on the inside of Orozco. And Orozco was thinking about sending it back into turn 1 on Quinn Smith, but he knows Quinn Smith is probably a little bit quicker. As Orozco was currently a back marker. As we see Snyder trying to get by Cusworth.
And everyone is just in their own little window. There's not much racing going on right now, is there?
Nah, I believe the closest we got is Snyder and Cusworth, but Cusworth's a back marker as we reach the halfway point in this race. It looks like your race
here we
leader...
have Mike Burkhoff actually getting challenged by Quinn Smith.
Yeah, I was going to say, Landry, currently P8, your race leader, came out in P8 after the pits, as Burkhoff is just going to get by Smith.
That was the back one.
Okay.
Burkhoff is currently leading Smith. Smith wanting to get by as he managed to catch up this lap after Mike got caught up in the back markers. Looks like he is going to have the run here and probably quite easily going to get this pass done, I would assume. The
Yeah.
Honda not necessarily known for its top speed.
And then when you have something like the Lexus, which is more known for its top speed, and it looks like Smith is going to try to go out the outside and have the inside going into the chase. And it looks like he will get by, as it looks like Burkhoff just backed off.
Ooh, yellow flag. Car number 21, Duran, returns to pits, unfortunately. Not sure what happened there.
as this battle between Smith and Burkhoff is not finished yet. Currently the closest battle on track.
Yeah, Burkhoff's going to have some work if he wants to catch Smith. Quinn has just been showing an absolute tremendous amount of speed throughout all these leagues that he's been in so far.
Yeah, Smith is a very rapid driver, especially in that Lexus.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Burkhoff not quite going to be able to manage to make anything happen here as he's falling 10th behind every turn, it seems like, and it's not much, but it adds up very quick. Yellow flag for... Ooh, 2 cars actually. We got 2 cars spun in the mountain section.
So the 463 is Versosa, and the 89 car, who is that?
That was Custworth in P25 managing to get back on track and come out in... Not sure where he came out in P26, so only losing 1 or 2 positions. But still, that's never good, seeing 2 yellow flags in the mountain sector. You're like, alright, cool, I missed the 1 crash, now I got another one coming.
Yeah, but the best part is, it probably didn't even tell them. I don't even know if the game will tell you there's 2. It'll tell you there's a yellow flag, so you're probably thinking 1 is Ferreira actually clips the wall, and that gives Gage Gonzalez... Gage Gonzalez was thinking about it as the 11 car is spun on the main straight, it seems like. But yeah, Ferreira clipped the wall going down the mountain, and Gonzalez tried to make a move, and he's still trying to make the move.
Ferreira slamming the door shut on Gonzalez there. Yeah, not quite this time. Wow, that was... Oh, but... We have Mosticero managing to maybe come in and... Or that's Snyder, excuse me. Trying to get Gonzalez now.
It seems like Versosa was having a little bit of problems as he has already completed his pit stop, but he's jumped back into the pits now.
Must have had a little excursion with the barrier, unfortunately. Which is all too easy to do here. And currently our race leader, Eric Miller, still yet to pit.
Yeah. He got Landry, who's about 10 seconds behind Miller, but Landry has completed their pit stop, and to add insult to injury, Landry is right behind Lamlin. Lamlin currently being a back marker. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's not where he wanted to see Landry today. He wanted to see him in the rearview mirrors, but not like that.
Yeah, not a lap behind as Landry gets by Lamlin. And
that sight.
Yeah. And between between Landry and Rivera, there is about just under 13 seconds. So between P2 and P3 right now. Jesus.
Rivera's mainly just trying to push to stay ahead of Manir right now. Manir's trying to push the wheels off this car, and as he started in P7 and managed to go up to P4 now, he wants that podium.
So we got Ferreira and Mostachero going to go side by side down the Conrad Straight. Just to keep it clean. And Orozco just bails. Whether he got loose or he did not want anything, or like no part of it, but he just bails off the track and gets out of the way.
It looked like he got a little loose there and almost made contact with Snyder, actually, and he just, to avoid the contact with Snyder, he drove off the track.
As we had Andreas Mostachero getting by Ferreira there. So we have George Elmer and Stephen Buckley going at it. The 22 GTR versus the 73 Audi.
And I'm not sure what happened to Mike Burkhoff, but he managed to drop down to P10. He was sitting pretty nice in P7. Snyder and Mostasero still trying to go at it. Not quite now, as they're going into the mountain section. They will probably have a bit of a break of the scrap, but I'm sure it will resume momentarily.
Yeah, and while that's going on, we still have this battle between Elmer and Buckley for P18 and P19. Buckley right on the rear wing of Elmer as they make their way up the mountain.
And Kerstetter trying to push very hard right now as he gets by Cusworth, the back marker, and he's half a second behind Portis right now. Doesn't look like he quite has the pace to get by him yet. Snyder and Gonzalez, though. As Snyder takes an alternate... Oh, that's Gonzalez, I mean. Takes a not ideal line off the track and actually loses 2 positions there. As we are coming down to the 15-minute mark, or well, 14-minute mark left of this very exciting race here in Bathurst. We had 35 cars on this grid, and currently they're all very spread out along the entire track, essentially.
Yeah, this battle between Elmer and Buckley is still going on, but I believe that's the closest battle on track right now. Ooh, as Elmer runs a little wide, and it looks like Buckley's gonna have the better exit out of T1. With the help of Slipstream, he may have him going down this main straight.
Eric Miller still yet to pit, loses it in the chase. Huh. Well, Eric does now choose to come into the pits as he probably flat spotted his tires there a little bit. He's going to drop back probably all the way to about P11, P12, if I had to guess.
And Jason Provolone gets by Bruce Hopkins as Hopkins runs a little wide going into that fast right-hander. Now we'll jump back on board with P4 and P5 between Portis and Kerstetter. See if Kerstetter might get a good run out of him with the help of the Slipstream. As these final couple of minutes could be interesting. As the sun has started to go down, we can see the drivers have their lights on. Visibility might get a little hard for some of these drivers. Hopefully they'll be able to keep themselves composed.
Yeah, if it's anything like last race, where when we got down to the last 5 minutes, it seemed like that's when all the accidents really happened. Hopefully we don't get a repeat of that, but we do have a repeat of Landry and his dominant victories, assuming he does manage to keep it on track for the next 10 minutes. He is 16 seconds ahead of Rivera right now.
Jesus.
Just dominant.
As we got Moses under fire from Quinn Smith right now for P7. Let's make their way around Forrest's elbow. Looks like Quinn Smith is going to try to make the move going down the Conrad Straight.
Yeah, he's going to have the inside line for the high-speed right-hander, but then he's going to have the... or he's just going to have the inside for both of them because he's that good.
Yeah, he just had that good of a run in that Lexus. Quinn Smith makes the move happen and jumps up to P7 as Ed Kerstetter is still... He gets by Kenneth. He gets by Portis, and that jumps Kerstetter up to P4 and Portis down to P4 or P5. See if Kerstetter can hold this position.
He should be able to. He's shown more pace throughout this entire race. Portis, as much as I would say he's driving in a fantastic race so far, he just kind of needs to probably just take this P5. I mean, he can fight a little bit, but I wouldn't risk anything at this point.
Still 10 minutes to go. There's still an opportunity. He just has to stick close and hope that Kerstetter makes a mistake that he can capitalize on.
Yeah, for sure, as he probably will be trying just to stick with him for the rest of it, just in case that does happen. But already Kerstetter pulling quite a bit of ground in the mountain section. And Moses and Quinn Smith. Moses still looking like he wants to challenge, but pretty much same story there, where he just doesn't quite have the pace to catch up, as Quinn Smith actually clouts the barrier a little bit, giving Moses a huge chance. They're now pretty much bumper to bumper. Doesn't look like he's going to have the run on this lap. Is Moses. Not quite, but he will be trying to set that up in the near future for sure.
Yeah, just top speed of that Lexus just a little too quick for the BMW, even with the help of the slipstream.
Yeah, and speaking of which, if you look down in P11 here, Mastasero trying his best to stay ahead of that Honda with that Lexus top speed. Managing to do it for now. But Gonzalez all over him.
Ooh, it's a 73 car. Stephen Buckley. There was a yellow flag, but it looked like they returned to the pits. So we have Jamison Cusworth and Aaron Kuhn going side by side as they make their way towards Hell's Corner, and it looks like Kuhn's going to get by, bumping him up to P25.
And Turner loses it through the chase. Seems like the drivers are struggling a lot here in the chase. It's where most of these spins are happening. They're all pretty much unassisted.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just becoming a little dark, a little harder to see where either the braking point is or where the turn-in point is, or...
Yeah, or someone took out the sign. That's never fun. Someone takes out the braking marker on that. That's just the worst case scenario.
Yeah, but then you always have that one guy where it's like, oh, well, you should try to find something static. Ooh, as Eric Miller, a big slide from him, and he is around as... Oh my goodness, another Honda smokes a wall, and...
Oh, that's not a good spot to be sideways.
No, that was Chronotis, I believe, and Miller both slammed the wall there.
Miller backing up into the wall again, unfortunately.
So we got Bruce Hopkins and Jacob Padberg. These two are fighting for P20 while the race leader is slowly creeping up behind him.
Not that slowly, I would say. He's already right behind him.
Yeah, right on the rear wing of Padberg.
Looks like Landry's just going to be nice and patient, as he does have the time to afford to be able to sit behind these cars for a little bit.
Ooh, and there's a car off, and... Landry really putting the pressure on Padberg.
Did Landry just clip the wall a little bit?
I don't know. If it was very light, if he did. But Landry is going to get by both of these drivers. And it looks like Padberg goes to follow through. And it looks like Padberg's going to come out ahead of Hopkins, following Landry through.
Yes, indeed. He does manage to hold on to it. So he actually doesn't go defensive, giving Hopkins the opportunity to challenge back, but he doesn't quite take it.
Ooh, in the 89 car, Jamison Cusworth. Looks like he returned to the pits. Very unfortunate race from him. As we still have Quinn Smith being challenged by Chris Moses. Smith unable to shake Moses, and Moses unable to get by.
Yeah, that's very good from Moses so far. Honestly, I would have expected Quinn Smith to pull at least half a second or more already, but he's right with him.
Yeah, he's not giving him any breathing room. As Moses and Quinn Smith are going to go side by side down into turn, the final turn.
Bold. That's bold.
And he might try for the switchback, and he's unable to do so.
It's a good attempt. It's a very nice attempt.
Yeah. Quinn Smith, just that Lexus and Quinn Smith. A little bit too much still. But Moses, he's not giving up.
It doesn't look like he quite has the run here for it. He might. We see yellow flag car number 81 in the mountain section. Not sure what happened there, as I think they returned to pits. Moses just gonna have to tuck behind for right now and be patient, as overtaking through this sector is not exactly going to be an option on Smith unless he makes a massive mistake.
Yeah, there's still a couple laps to go. Probably 2 more laps to go after this one. So he's got a little bit of time, but in a few moments he'll find that there isn't much time to make this move happen.
No, for sure not. I think Landry is now getting onto his white flag lap, where he's gonna have one more before he gets his final lap. I guess is penultimate lap.
Yeah. Next time he crosses the line, it'll be the checkered, or not the checkered, the white flag.
White. Yes, correct. Moses managing to have a bit of a lunge, but he just can't quite get it done.
Yeah, as we've got Padberg and Hopkins, they're going at it as they start making their way up the mountain for P18 and 19, and you got Provolone joining in and William Colon right behind. Then you also got Nate Lamlin. There's a 5-way battle between 18 and 22, all within 2 seconds of each other.
Yeah, this isn't the best place to have a battle on this part of the track, but we will. I mean, hey, you can battle anywhere. So they're all hopefully going to manage to keep this under control, because they don't have many more laps to go. It'd be a shame to see any of these drivers clout the barrier at this time.
It seems like Padberg was able to pull ahead a little bit, while these other 4 just battle it out still.
Yeah, and Moses managing to fall about a second behind Quinn Smith now, looking like that he is just going to have to take his P8 and be happy with it, unless Smith manages to make some sort of mistake here or get caught up in the back markers, as actually there will be some back markers coming up soon.
Ooh, and somebody is off. I believe that's Provolone, who completely misjudged their braking point as Landry starts their final lap.
Yeah, Quinn Smith managing to pull over a second now onto Moses, getting by that lap traffic, no issue.
And last lap battle is heating up between Rivera and Meneer for P2 and P3.
Yeah, Meneer, like I was saying before, Meneer's going to want this one. He doesn't give up. This will be a race to the flag.
For sure. And, you know, they are teammates, but with a 12-second gap to Ed Kerstetter behind, they're going to be battling each other out all the way out until the checker.
Team orders. No team orders needed here. And even if there were team orders, I don't think Rudy would necessarily care. It's Landry.
Oh, Rivera gets a little loose going over Skyline.
Feeling the pressure. As they come to lap traffic now. Provolone just diving out of the way.
Yeah, he wants none of it. Did Provolone just hit the wall in the background there?
I was not paying attention to Provolone. I'm paying attention to this run that Rivera has on Mariner, or excuse me, other way around. Meneer has on. He's going to take a look down the outside, well, the inside of this turn, the outside of the next, not quite.
And Landry crosses the line, P1. Oh, and Rivera runs wide, and Meneer gets by.
Extremely deep, and Meneer just manages to, wow.
And Meneer's going to take P2 at the last dying seconds of this race.
Wow.
Oh,
Pressured him into a mistake there.
As Meneer crosses P2, Rivera P3. We got Kerstetter and Portis battling it out for P4 and P5. But it looks like Kerstetter is going to stay ahead and cross the line in P4. Portis in P5. Raza's going to come across the line comfortably in P6. Quinn Smith going to cross the line ahead of Moses by a second. Quinn Smith in 7th, Moses in 8th. So we got Mike Burkhoff just getting through the chase now as he's making his way towards the last left-hander. The final turn of the race. And he is going to comfortably cross the line in P9. And it looks like it's going to be the same story for Jarek Snyder. But if you're Andreas Mostachero and Gage Gonzalez, this could be a very interesting final corner. As there are 2 tenths between one another, and Gage Gonzalez was thinking about making a move. Let's see who gets the better exit. But it looks like Mostachero is going to be able to hold on and claim P11.
I respect that from Gonzalez.
And
just
12
sending
for Gonzalez.
Making it look like he wanted to send it down the inside, but he knew there was no chance.
As we got Pereira coming around the final corner now, a couple back markers ahead. I believe that it's Eric and Bukasian and Chronotis getting by as Pereira crosses in P13. As we got Ross Fallon coming around the final corner, he's going to cross the line in P14. You got Tom McDonald, that may be your split 3 winner, coming across the line in P14. P15 is going to be Eric Miller with Orozco close behind, but Orozco P28, a back marker. And we're going to have George Elmer coming across the line. Another split 3 driver in P16, or 7, yeah, 16, 17, Jesus. And that is your second race here at Bathurst. As we have Landry winning again. We got Meneer in P2, Rivera P3. And we already have some of the interviews in here. Well, first off, congratulations everybody. We got Gage Gonzalez, we got Marc-Antoine Landry, Rivera, and Riley Meneer. Congratulations everyone.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Riley, that was a solid makeup drive from you.
Yeah, that first race I did something stupid and ended up last and said, okay, I should pit and then just try and make up time and got a top 10 out of it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, no, that was, I mean, especially you started in P7 in the second race and managed to make up all the way to P2, taking it on like the second to last corner. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I had the race pace and I capitalized on a couple mistakes, but yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, so, Landry, you got double victories here tonight. Must be feeling pretty good after those two.
Yeah, feel good. It feels bad for Lamlin, I think. Uh, it seems like he didn't had like a pit, like formation lap thing, so he got pit. It would have been way more spicy than that, I'm sure. It was pretty tight at the beginning. Was struggling during quali, but race pace was amazing. So yeah,
Yeah, very unfortunate from him. I guess what had happened is he went just too far ahead in the formation lap, and it teleported him back.
yeah. I have some question for him. I want to know what happened, to be honest, because he was super slow at the beginning, and then he accelerated really fast. I had this bug not too long ago. It just the formation lap thing doesn't appear for some people, so maybe that's that.
Yeah, that may have happened. But anyways, it's that first race was a little unfortunate for the rest of the fields, but for you, it kind of went in your favor when I think it was Manir.
Yep, it was me.
Yeah, kind of lost it going over Skyline, and you had like a 3 second gap on like the first lap or something. So must have
Yeah.
felt pretty good for you, but not so much the rest of the fields.
No, exactly. I was waiting for a fight. I was like, oh, these guys gonna come at me for sure. If the Honda has something, is definitely there, and as long as like they kept him in the draft, like they could have get it. So yeah, I was really happy with that. But it sucks because we want good racing, and we got a lot of good racing. Like at Zandvoort, we had a lot of fun. So yeah, great bunch of people here.
And let's go to Rivera and Manir. What happened at the end of that second race? You just kind of went a little too far.
I think I got a little bit scared from my teammate, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I completely understand that. I wiggled a little bit because he was lagging forward and backward. I thought I was catching him more on the straight, and all of a sudden he came backward at me like really quickly. You know, that weird ACC bug. I don't know why it does that. So I moved out to the side, tried to stay on the inside because I didn't know what that lag was going to do to affect us. I caught a little bit of curb, shook a little, and I think that might have put him off a little bit. I was able to gather it, but
Yeah, but actually I think this is a track that you need the rhythm, and just in the downhill part, I saw like dirt from the cars on front, and I thought someone crashed, and from there up to the last corner, like I messed up my rhythm and was like, I don't know, not feeling too confident. I just wanted to finish the race.
All right, and we'll go to Gage Gonzalez. First off, congratulations, Gage.
For race one, right? Not.
Yeah. I was gonna ask what happened in the second races. Did it just seem like a little harder or something, or?
Nope. Just started daydreaming, hit the curb, and that was that. Pitted for 15 seconds of damage. Got my tires out of the way for the second race, and traffic got me out of rhythm. Made another mistake. Another 15 seconds of damage, and just ended up 12.
Yeah,
But,
traffic was harsh. Otherwise, you were there, man. You were there.
It was good.
Yes.
But the first race was interesting. Started P7, I think, and I was not having the best start, so I just decided to go in early, get fresh tires, and stayed out of trouble everywhere, and ended up in a good spot there.
All right. So we've got Mike Burkhoff in here now. Congratulations, Mike. For I believe it was race 1, or was it race 2? I think it was race 2.
No, it was race number 2. Race number 1 was horrendously atrocious.
It was going well.
It was not. But during the break, I put on some special racing songs, and so I was able to pull it together for this race.
Yeah, sometimes that's the great
Yeah,
part
well,
about having a doubleheader.
yeah, those guys at the front were so quick. I mean, even at the end there, I was all by myself, just watching them creep away. So congrats to all those guys who are so fast. But yeah, I qualified first in the division and ended up first, so happy about that.
Yeah, now we got a 2-week break from the leagues due to some holidays and then the 6-hour enduro. You guys gonna be taking a break or grinding out a little bit?
Oh, there's
I'm
new
kind of
tracks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the tracks to come out. I want to do Coda. That one's gonna be a good time. I think it's gonna be like Spa, where it's just a really long track. So
Which is a really good point. We have the M2 season coming up, which is going to take advantage of the new American tracks, and we're bringing in reverse grid. So I think it's going to be really exciting for those who are looking to do one or both of those things.
Spicy.
absolutely.
What day of the week, Eric?
Tuesdays at 9 o'clock, I think.
Will look if I can.
Yeah, we
So-
already have 33 people signed up. Basically, we're going to qualify the first day, and then every successive day we're going to have the first race as your finishing position from the previous race, and then the second race is going to be reverse grid. So it's going to be really fun every single time you go out.
So we could be seeing Eric on pole position.
Thank you
Oh.
for insulting a crashed person, but no, I
Gotta be
I
good.
just don't have Tuesdays. So
Well, Eric, I think you kind of set yourself up a little bit there.
hey, it's the sacrifices I make to have good racing in our community. So you're lucky, Ricardo. I don't have time to practice. Otherwise, you'd see my dust.
Oh, well, Mike, do you have any more questions or anything more to add on to for any of these guys here?
No, not really. Just honestly, thanks for carrying the stream today. You did I'm tired and hot, and you did a great job.
Absolutely. Thank you for both for streaming. We really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Amazing league. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just credit to everyone out there. I mean, for Mount Panorama and how big a grid we had, both races were crazy clean, relatively speaking. I thought it was going to be much worse, so just credit to everyone out there who's driving well.
Yeah, well, with that, I think we'll do a quick close of the stream. So you guys are good to leave, and we'll get Eric to find somebody to raid, and we'll call it a night. Congrats again, guys, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
night,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending your Sunday night here with us at Trackalicious. As we stated a little bit earlier on, this is our last race for about 2 weeks, as we have the holiday next week, and we have the 6-hour enduro with 949 and Box 3 the week after. And then we'll be back, and we will be back to back, as we will have 5 races in 5 weeks to finish off the season. So it'll be a hectic finish to the season after this 2-week break. But anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll throw it to someone, and hope everyone has a great rest of the evening. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, thanks again to you guys. You guys do an awesome job, and we're gonna send it over to our good friend Kevin Brunin from who's streaming ACC right now. So send it over to him. Thanks everyone, and see ya.
All right, am I good to kill it?
Hey, other.